The 12 tribes of Israel are not lost in history. They're in your skull right now. Reuben means to see. That's your optic nerve. Simeon means to hear. That's your vestibulocochlear nerve. The 12 gates of revelation, the 12 cranial nerve pathways surrounding your brain. They told you the tribes wandered the desert. The tribes never left. Numbers chapter 2 describes them camping around the tabernacle, 3 to the east, 3 west, 3 north, 3 south. That's not a desert camp, that's your brainstem. 12 cranial nerves arranged in 4 clusters around your brain center. The Hebrew word made means tribe. It comes from nada, to stretch out like a branch, not a family. A nerve branching from the stem. Every tribal name is a verb. Reuben, ra, to see. Simeon, shama, to hear. Levi, lava, to join. These aren't people. They're functions your nervous system performs every second. Genesis says Lee named Reuben because the Lord has looked upon my affliction. The word for looked, ra, same root. She named him seeing because the optic nerve lets you behold. She named Simeon hearing because the Lord has heard. Same pattern, shama, the auditory nerve. 12 tribes, 12 cranial nerves, 12 Hebrew names describing what each nerve does. Revelation chapter 21 describes New Jerusalem with 12 gates, 3 per side. Each gate bears a tribe's name. The gates are never shut because neural pathways function continuously. These aren't future architecture. They're the nerve channels processing these words right now, but here's what they buried. If the 12 tribes are nerves arranged 3 per direction, north, south, east, west, and Genesis 49 describes each tribe with animal symbolism. Judah as a lion, Dan as a serpent. What does that arrangement actually encode? The names prove it. Let me show you all 12. Reuben, strong 7205, ra, to see. Genesis 29:32. The Lord has looked upon my affliction. Same word. The firstborn tribe is vision, your optic nerve. Simeon, Strong's 8095, shama, to hear. Genesis 29:33. The Lord has heard. The second tribe is hearing, your vestibulocochlear nerve. Levi, Strong's 3878, lava, to join, attach. Same root as Leviathan, the coiled creature. Levi receives no land inheritance because joining is distributed throughout. Connective tissue. Nerves attaching organs to brain. Judah, Strong's 3063, yada, to throw hands in praise, connected to yad, hand, motor expression, physical action. Dan, Strong's 1835, dian, to judge, Genesis 36. God has judged me, the mental faculty rendering verdict, higher cortical processing. Naphtali, Strong's 5321. Pathal, to twist, wrestle, Genesis 38, with great wrestlings, twisting motion, muscular contention. Gad, Strong's 1410, goad, to invade, overcome. Genesis 49:19, a troop shall overcome, invasive force pressing forward, coordinated muscle action. Asher, Strong's 836, Ashar, to walk straight, be happy, proper alignment creates blessing. Locomotion, upright posture. Issachar, Strong's 3485, NASA, to carry plus Sakar, wages. Genesis 49:14, he bowed his shoulder to bear, burden-bearing, shoulder function. Zebulun, Strong's 2074, Zabel, to dwell. Genesis 30:20, my husband will dwell with me, the body as dwelling place, the temple where spirit resides. Joseph, Strong's 3130. Yasaph, to add, increase. Genesis 30:24, the Lord shall add, multiplication, growth, regeneration. Benjamin. Strong's 1144, Benjamin, son of the right hand, originally Benoni, son of pain. Jacob renamed him. Pain transformed to power. Right hand strength. 12 names, 12 verbs: seeing, hearing, joining, expressing, judging, twisting, advancing, walking, bearing, dwelling, growing, strengthening, not people, faculties. Functions your nervous system performs. The pattern is absolute, but the names alone don't show you the structure. You need to see where they camp, how they arrange around the center. Because the camp formation in numbers isn't random, it's your neuroanatomy mapped in 4 directions. Numbers chapter 2 gives exact positions. 12 tribes in 4 camps around the tent of meeting, 3 east under Judah, 3 south under Reuben, 3 west under Ephraim, 3 north under Dan. The tabernacle sits center. This isn't desert geography, it's brain architecture. The tabernacle is your cranium. The Holy of Holies is your pineal gland. The 12 tribes are 12 cranial nerve pairs surrounding your brainstem. Modern neuroscience identifies exactly 12 pairs emerging from your brain and brainstem. Not 11, not 13, 12. They control every sensory input and motor output from your neck up. The olfactory processes scent. The optic transmits vision. The trigeminal, largest of all, branches 3 ways across your face, controlling sensation and chewing. 3 branches from one root, like 3 tribes under one banner. The facial nerve controls expression. When you smile or frown, that nerve executes the command. The vestibulocochlear has two functions, hearing and balance. Simeon, the hearing tribe, maintains spatial orientation. The vagus descends from brainstem to heart, lungs, stomach. It regulates your heartbeat, breathing, digestion without conscious thought. Automatic, consecrated action. The hypoglossal controls your tongue, enabling speech. Judah praised the tribe that extends expression outward. 12 nerves, 12 functions. Arranged in clusters around your brainstem, exactly as Numbers describes tribes around the tabernacle. The high priest wore a breastplate with 12 stones. Each stone bore a tribal name. He wore the complete nervous system map over his heart when entering the Holy of Holies. The 12 stones were a diagram. The priest carried the anatomical blueprint into the innermost sanctum. The encampment operates every moment you're conscious. Right now, optic nerves processing light, vestibulocochlear maintaining your spatial position. Vagus regulating your heartbeat, but Revelation doesn't talk about 12 gates. It talks about 24 elders surrounding the throne. If there are 12 tribes and 12 nerves, where did the number double? Revelation chapter 4, verse 4. 24 elders dressed in white robes sit on 24 thrones surrounding the central throne. They cast their crowns before it in worship. 24, not 12. The answer is bilateral symmetry. Nerves exist in pairs. 12 on your left brain, 12 on your right. That's 24. Your left optic nerve processes the left eye. Your right optic nerve processes the right. Your left facial nerve controls the left side of your face. Your right facial nerve controls the right side. When you smile, both fire in coordination. When one side droops, stroke, Bell's palsy, one nerve fails while its pair continues. 12 tribes. 24 elders, 12 cranial nerve pairs. The Greek presbyteros means elder, those who sit in governmental authority. The 24 elders govern the body temple. They process all sensory input. They execute all motor commands. Nothing enters consciousness without passing through them. Nothing leaves as action without their coordination. And they surround a throne. The throne sits center. Revelation 4 describes it as jasper and carnelian, stones of fire, light, crystalline structure. The pineal gland is your body's only unpaired midline brain structure. Single, central, crystalline. It contains calcite crystals responding to electromagnetic frequency. The optic nerves relay light information to the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which signals the pineal to regulate circadian rhythm, your internal sense of time, your connection to the solar cycle. The pineal is the throne. The 24 cranial nerve pairs are the elders surrounding it. Revelation 4:10 says the elders cast their crowns before the throne. The cranial nerves function in submission to central command. They relay information to the pineal and hypothalamus. The crowns, the authority of each nerve, are offered to the throne for integration. Jesus sent disciples in pairs. Mark 6:7. He sent them out 2 by 2, not individually, in pairs, bilateral. 12 apostles functioning as 24 when deployed in coordinated pairs. The authors encoded bilateral neural architecture in every layer, but there's another layer beneath the cranial nerves. Another map connecting the 12 tribes to your entire body from head to foot. George Carey discovered it in 1920. The 12 tribes correspond to 12 biochemical mineral salts. Each salt governs a specific body region. Each region maps to a zodiac sign. And when you understand which tribe governs which body part, Genesis 49 stops being poetry. It becomes medical diagnosis. George Washington Carey was a physician, born 1845. He wrote the Zodiac and the Salts of Salvation and proved the 12 tribes encode 12 biochemical mineral salts essential for cellular function. Each salt corresponds to a zodiac sign. Each zodiac sign governs a specific body region from head to feet. This is Melethesia, the zodiac body. Ancient physicians knew it. Medieval manuscripts illustrated it. The zodiac man with Aries governing the head, Taurus the neck, Gemini the lungs, descending in order down to Pisces governing the feet. Carey mapped the tribes onto this system. Judah corresponds to Aries. Aries rules the head and brain. The cell salt is kali phosphate, potassium phosphate, the primary mineral in brain tissue. When it depletes, you experience brain fog, mental exhaustion, nervous tension. Judah means praised because proper brain phosphate allows clear thought. Deficiency creates confusion. Issachar corresponds to Taurus. Taurus rules the neck and throat. The salt is nat sulf, sodium sulfate, which regulates water distribution. Genesis 49 describes Issachar as a strong donkey who bowed his shoulder to bear. The shoulders, the neck bearing weight. When sodium sulfate depletes, the neck stiffens, the throat constricts. The shoulders carry tension they cannot release. Simeon corresponds to Leo. Leo rules the heart and spine. The salt is mag-fuzz, magnesium phosphate, which relaxes heart muscle and prevents cramps. Simeon means hearing. The heart hears the body's needs and responds with rhythmic circulation. Deficiency creates heart palpitations, muscle spasms, shooting nerve pain. Dan corresponds to Capricorn. Capricorn rules the bones and skeletal structure. The salt is calc-fuzz, calcium phosphate, the primary component of bone matrix. Genesis 49 calls Dan a serpent that bites the horse's heels, causing the rider to fall. The knees buckle, the structure fails. Calcium phosphate deficiency creates weak bones, poor teeth. Dan the judge renders verdict through structural integrity. 12 tribes, 12 zodiac signs, 12 body regions. 12 mineral salts maintaining cellular function in each region. When Genesis 49 describes each tribe with animal symbolism, Judah as a lion, Dan as a serpent, Benjamin as a wolf, it's not poetry, it's physiology. The blessings Jacob gives on his deathbed are biochemical diagnoses. Judah, your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies. Proper brain phosphate creates mental dominance. Issachar bowed his shoulder to bear, the Taurus neck carrying weight when sodium sulfate is adequate. Carey proved this clinically. He treated patients with cell salt deficiencies based on their birth month. The sun's position at birth determines which mineral salt your body struggles to maintain. The moon's monthly cycle through your birth sign creates a window when that salt depletes most rapidly. The promised land is reached when all 12 salts remain in balance. Mineral-rich fluids maintaining perfect cellular function from crown to sole, but there's a problem. When Revelation chapter 7 lists the 144,000 sealed from every tribe, Dan is missing. 11 tribes are named. Dan vanishes. If the 12 tribes are the complete anatomical system, why would one be removed? Revelation chapter 7 verses 4 through 8. John hears the number of the sealed, 144,000 from every tribe of Israel. The angel lists them. Judah, Reuben, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Manasseh, Simeon, Levi, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, Benjamin, 11 tribes. Dan is gone. Genesis 49, verse 17. Jacob's blessing over Dan. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, a viper by the path, that bites the horse's heels so that his rider falls backward. A serpent, coiled at the base, striking upward, causing consciousness to fall. Dan comes from Dean to judge, not to show mercy, to judge, to condemn. The judgment function is necessary. The brain must discern danger, evaluate threat. But judgment without mercy becomes constant condemnation, the inner critic that never sleeps. The voice that strikes at your heels, making you stumble into fear, doubt, self-attack. The serpent at the base of the spine. In esoteric anatomy, this is the creative force stored in the lower body, the sacrum, the generative organs. Scorpio governs this region, and Scorpio has 3 symbols. The scorpion striking itself with its own tail, self-destruction. The serpent coiled and waiting, potential energy not yet raised. The eagle, the serpent transformed, ascending, capable of flight. Dan is not removed from Revelation's list. Dan is transformed. The lower judgment function, the reptilian brain response, the condemnation reflex, cannot be sealed in its base state. It must first ascend. The serpent must become the eagle. Manasseh replaces Dan because Manasseh means causing to forget, specifically, forgetting the pain of the past, the old identity, the former limitations. Genesis 41:51. Joseph names him saying, God has made me forget all my hardship. The generative function now serves forward motion, not repetition of old patterns. When all 12 gates function in their transformed state, when Dan the judge becomes Dan the wise discerner, when the serpent becomes the eagle, the sealing occurs. The 144,000 is not a literal number, it's a frequency state. The lower 5 energy centers total 48 petals. The 6th center, the pineal, contains 96 petals. 48 plus 96 equals 144. Multiply by 1,000, the crown center, and you get 144,000. Full activation. Dan is not removed. Dan is transformed. And that transformation happens through a specific anatomical structure, a ladder, reaching from earth to heaven, with messengers ascending and descending. Jacob saw it at Peniel, which shares its root with pineal. That ladder has exactly 33 rungs. Your spine has 33 vertebrae. Christ died at age 33. Freemasons count 33 degrees. The pattern is anatomical. 33 bones stacked from your sacrum to your skull. 7 cervical vertebrae in your neck. 12 thoracic in your mid-back. 5 lumbar in your lower back. 5 fused forming your sacrum. 4 fused forming your coccyx. 33 segments total. The spine is not just skeletal support. It is the central channel through which cerebrospinal fluid flows. The canal running through your vertebrae houses your spinal cord, the nerve bundle connecting brain to body. Every sensation travels up this cord. Every motor command travels down. The fluid circulates through the center, rising and falling with your breath, pulsing with your heartbeat. Ancient traditions called it the water of life. Genesis chapter 28. Jacob dreams of a ladder set up on earth with its top reaching to heaven. Messengers ascend and descend on it. God stands at the top. Jacob wakes and says, "This is the gate of heaven." He names it Bethel, house of God. Later he calls it Peniel, face of God. Peniel, Strong 6439. From Pana, face, and El, God, the pineal gland shares the same root. It sits at your brain center, shaped like a pinecone, containing calcite crystals responding to electromagnetic frequency. The ladder reaches from earth to heaven, from the sacrum at your spine's base to the pineal at your skull's crown, 33 rungs. The messengers are neural impulses, electrical signals traveling up and down your spinal cord. Ascending signals carry sensory information from body to brain. Descending signals carry motor commands from brain to body. The ascending and descending happens continuously. Right now, Jacob wrestles with God at Peniel. He wrestles all night until daybreak. The being touches Jacob's hip, dislocating it. Jacob refuses to let go until he receives a blessing. The being renames him Israel, he who wrestles with God. Jacob says, "I have seen God face to face." This is not literal wrestling. This is the internal struggle, your two brain hemispheres, left and right, wrestling for dominance. Logic versus intuition, analysis versus synthesis. The corpus callosum connects them, but they often pull opposite directions. The wrestling happens at Peniel, the pineal suspended between both hemispheres. When they synchronize, when they stop wrestling and cooperate, gamma waves fire at 40 Hz across the corpus callosum. That is seeing God face to face, unified consciousness, the blessing. The hip dislocation marks the sacrum, the sacred bone at your pelvis base where cerebrospinal fluid pools during its downward flow. The oil descends the spine and dies in the sacrum for 3 days. If preserved, if you do not waste it through stress, anger, overindulgence, it resurrects. It rises back up the 33 vertebrae. The 12 thoracic vertebrae in your mid-back are where the 12 tribes position. Each attaches to a pair of ribs. The ribs protect your heart and lungs, blood and breath, life and spirit. The 12 thoracic vertebrae connect to specific nerve roots branching to specific organs, specific body regions, and they arrange in 4 groups, 3 vertebrae per directional camp. Upper thoracic, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun governing heart, throat, lungs. Middle thoracic, Reuben, Simeon, Gad governing digestion, circulation. Lower thoracic, Ephraim, Manasseh, Benjamin governing kidneys, processing centers. Final thoracic, Dan, Asher, Naphtali governing the lower organs. 3 per camp, 4 camps, 12 total. North, south, east, west. The arrangement Moses received on the mountain is the spinal arrangement you carry in your back right now. The tribes never camped in Sinai, they camp along your spine. The tabernacle sits above them, the skull, the cranium, the brain surrounded by 12 cranial nerve pairs. The spine below channels the fluid, raises the oil when conditions permit, but activation does not happen automatically. The oil must be preserved, and there is a specific monthly window when the secretion begins. George Carey discovered the timing in 1920. Every month, when the moon returns to the zodiac sign it occupied at your birth, a seed oil is released from the colostrum in your brain. The colostrum sits between your frontal and temporal lobes, a thin sheet of gray matter. Carey identified it as the source, the monthly secretion, the oil. This is endocrinology observed through anatomical study. Your pineal produces compounds in response to light cycles. Your pituitary responds to hypothalamic signals. The colostrum releases this oil during your lunar return, the 2.5 days each month when the moon transits your birth sign. The oil descends your spine through the cerebrospinal fluid. It travels down the 33 vertebrae. It reaches the sacrum, the sacred bone, and remains there for approximately 3 days. This is the death phase, the crucifixion in your lower body, the creative force pooled at the base. If the conditions are right, if the oil is preserved rather than wasted, it resurrects. It ascends back up the spine. It reaches the pineal gland at the crown. This is the anointing, the Christos, the Christ within activated, but preservation requires specific internal conditions. The oil is electrical. It responds to your nervous system state. When you activate the sympathetic nervous system, stress, anger, fear, overindulgence, you generate cortisol. Cortisol is acidic. It burns the oil. The seed dies without resurrection. The ancients knew this. They fasted during the sacred window. Not for spiritual discipline, for biochemical preservation. Fasting shifts your body into parasympathetic mode, rest and repair. The vagus nerve, the wandering nerve, the one that descends from brain to organs, regulates this state. When the vagus is active, cortisol production drops, the oil is protected. This is why Jesus fasted 40 days. Why Moses fasted on the mountain. Why every mystery tradition emphasizes fasting during sacred periods. They were preserving the monthly oil during its 3-day death phase in the sacrum. The calcification of the pineal, the hardening that blocks its crystalline function, occurs when the oil repeatedly burns at the base. Month after month of wasted seed, the pineal calcifies, the gate closes, the throne becomes dormant. But when the oil completes its circuit, when it resurrects from the sacrum and reaches the pineal, the 12 cranial nerve pairs synchronize. The 24 elders cast their crowns before the throne. The corpus callosum fires at 40 Hz, gamma wave coherence. The two hemispheres unify. You see God face to face at Peniel. The 12 gates open when the central gate activates. The tribes function in coordinated harmony when the tabernacle, the pineal throne, comes alive. This is not future prophecy. This is present physiology. The 12 tribes are not coming back from exile. They are waiting for you to preserve the oil long enough for resurrection to occur. The kingdom with 12 districts is within you. It always has been. Luke chapter 17, verse 21. Jesus says, "The kingdom of God is within you." The Greek entos hymen permits translation as within you rather than among you, not external geography, inner territory. 1 Corinthians 6:19. Your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. 2 Corinthians 6:16. We are the temple of the living God. John chapter 2, verse 21. Jesus spoke of the temple of his body. The 12 tribes are 12 faculties of the inner kingdom, 12 cranial nerves in your skull, 12 cell salts in your body from head to feet, 12 thoracic vertebrae along your spine. 12 gates that never shut because consciousness flows through them continuously. Reuben sees, Simeon hears, Levi joins, Judah expresses, Dan judges. The names are verbs, the tribes are functions. The map is internal. They told you the tribes were lost to Assyrian conquest in 722 BC. The tribes were never external to begin with. Romans 9:6 hints at this, for not all who are descended from Israel are Israel. There is carnal Israel, physical lineage, and spiritual Israel, activated consciousness. The 12 tribes never wandered the desert looking for the promised land. They are operating in your body right now, processing light through your optic nerves, maintaining balance through your vestibulocochlear nerves, regulating your heartbeat through your vagus nerve. The encampment is functional every moment you remain conscious. The promised land was never Palestinian real estate. It is the regenerated body temple functioning according to divine design. The corpus callosum firing at 40 Hz gamma coherence when both brain hemispheres synchronize. The pineal throne activated when the sacred oil completes its monthly circuit from claustrum to sacrum and back. The kingdom, with all its 12 administrative districts, is within you. The gates are your nerves. The throne is your pineal. The ladder is your spine. The oil is your cerebrospinal fluid. The 12 tribes camp around the tabernacle of your skull right now. Not history, anatomy, not prophecy, physiology. The Bible is not a book about the Middle East 2,000 years ago. It is an instruction manual for the human nervous system encrypted in mythology so it would survive the centuries intact. You are Israel. The 12 tribes are your 12 faculties. And the promised land has always been the place where you stand when all 12 gates open in coordinated harmony. They are not lost, they are waiting.